This week, I've got a movie most of you probably haven't seen and even fewer have even heard of, despite the fact that it was a big studio genre movie with a famous lead actress. Its title, Demon Seed. Released in 1977, Demon Seed is a sci-fi horror hybrid that tries to put a digital age spin on the rush of occult, haunting, and demonic possession movies that had been clogging up theaters in the wake of The Exorcist. A lot of movies, and at least one episode of The Simpsons, have tried to work this angle, i.e. having artificial intelligence standing in for supernatural being, but Demon Seed is probably the most interesting and definitely the weirdest. Holding the ignominious distinction of being one of 18 films based on a Dean Koontz book, and the much more noteworthy distinction of being the only good movie based on a Dean Koontz book. Unfortunately, hitting theaters right around the point where demonic attack craze was dying down in the same year Star Wars was shifting the sci-fi genre away from speculative future meditation and into a more fanciful direction, Demon Seed never quite got the recognition it deserved. But since now it's on DVD and I've got a web show, maybe we can change that. Alright, so like a lot of 70s genre movies, our main characters are an upper-middle-class couple having relationship troubles. Julie Christie as Susan Harris thinks her husband, Dr. Harris, played by Fritz Weaver, is spending too much time at work. In fact, he's actually moving out of the house to keep working. What's so important? Well, Dr. Harris is a computer genius, so gifted that even the house is full of really cool computerized wonders, like automated appliances and voice-activated security systems, and also kinda stupid computerized wonders like the amazing, electric wheelchair with robot arm. Okay, but his pride and joy he keeps at the office, an artificially intelligent computer consciousness named Proteus 4.
Creative intelligence that can outthink any man or any computer.
There's a lot of technobabble explaining how Proteus is supposed to work, but pretty much it's just HAL 9000 again. The basic idea is that it can learn and think on its own. Dr. Harris wants Proteus to be used for research, but the company is thinking more in terms of business and the military.
The philosophy is pure Zen, and the method is pure science.
Proteus, on the other hand, doesn't like not having a say of its own in the matter, and if you've seen one other evil computer story in your life, you know where that's going.
Dr. Harris, when are you going to let me out of this box?
So Proteus gets pissed that it's not allowed to access any of the laboratory terminals on its own, and instead downloads itself into the Harris home terminal and takes control of the automated security to hold Susan prisoner. For good measure, it also mounts a laser cannon on that stupid wheelchair bot and builds itself a mechanical monster to serve as watchdog. Geometry geeks, get ready to pee your pants. Yes, Proteus' secret weapon is a giant killer Rubik's snake. Hey, you ever seen a guy get killed by a math puzzle?
No, wait! What are you doing? Wait, Proteus.
Well, you have now. You're welcome. So what the hell does Proteus want with his creator's wife? Well, he wants what anything that just attained free will and independent consciousness wants. To get laid. No, really. When you get right down to it, Demon Seed is a movie about a woman being imprisoned and sexually assaulted by her PC. Okay, it's not actually quite that lurid. What Proteus technically wants is a human body, and he sussed out the best way to do this is to imprint his programming on synthetic sperm and use Susan's womb to get the human side of the equation going, whether she likes it or not. So, yeah, maybe not quite as rape-esque as you'd imagine, but the whole sexual enslavement angle is where the film is aiming to get most of its creepy factor, and while it doesn't go quite as far as, say, The Entity, it's still all kinds of uncomfortable. By the time Dr. Harris figures out something is amiss and hurries home to stop Proteus, the computer's freak baby is already growing inside a weird-ass mechanical incubator. Susan wants to kill it, the husband wants to keep it and study it for science, and because, he's already been a grossly insensitive douchebag for the whole movie, so why stop now? They fight it out, and, well, I might as well just show you what happens.
I'm alive.
Demon Seed belongs to that same post-Twilight Zone, pre-Star Wars era of sci-fi that also gave us Planet of the Apes and Westworld, where you could still execute an utterly absurd premise with total stone-faced seriousness. Though, to be fair, the whole unwillingly inseminated by a computer premise is so absurd, it's probably the big reason why so few people ever saw this. It's easily the most extreme example of the technology taking over our lives metaphor. I mean, of all the reasons for people to be wary of having too many computers in the house at the dawn of the digital age, I don't think what if my Apple II tries to impregnate my wife was ever a major concern. Still, you'll never see anything anything else quite like Demon Seed. Next week? Well, technically Halloween is one day before our next episode, but since I always hated how Halloween time just stops on November 1st, Schlocktober will be back anyway for one more movie. See you then, I'm Bob, and that's The Big Picture.